So let me take you back to 2018. In that year, I published a research paper called The Four Horsemen of the Restaurant Apocalypse. In that research paper, we talked about what I thought was the biggest threat to the restaurant industry that we have ever seen: third-party delivery. And it wasn't speculation. It was because we've seen this exact trend before. The travel industry went through this exact disruption. There were four horsemen in the travel industry: Orbitz, Travelocity, Priceline, Expedia. And margins plummeted. And what did that industry do about it? Well, there was a playbook that they eventually figured out that we are still in the middle of figuring out for restaurants, but it is critical to the future. One of those tools is a loyalty program. But amid massive margin pressure in this industry, that word has gotten a little bit of a bad name. So we're going to redefine what that looks like and how you can be successful in that backdrop. These are our four horsemen. As we all know, there aren't quite four anymore. And there actually aren't four in the travel industry anymore either. There's an economic theory called aggregation theory, which is about the density of the top 10 players in a market and how ripe that market is for disruption. The top 10 players in the airline industry control the entire market. The top 10 players in the hotel industry control something like 40%. The top 10 players in the restaurant industry control no more than 10, 12%. And so as you get more fragmented, you're more ripe for disruption. Then we saw this. Third-party delivery volumes massively rose. The result of that is that DoorDash at its peak was a $95 billion market cap business. That is larger than Yum, according to the public markets. The third largest restaurant in the world, according to the public markets at its peak. $200 billion in digital sales. And then this happened, right? And the result was some brands were well positioned to actually thrive. Chipotle dominated the rest of the category in terms of where the public market valuations were. That gap has narrowed a little bit now. A lot of people are putting a lot of hard work into this. But what led them to do this is what I want to uncover. The first is what everyone knows, and this is an experience that we built at Thanx, but many of you have lots of iterations of this. You need to have a best-in-class direct first-party digital ordering experience. What did hotels do? Hotels said, book direct to us. Do not go to the third parties. And they had to completely innovate on digital, because if their digital experience wasn't good enough, people were going to go back to Expedia over and over again. This was cool a couple years ago. This was new. This was the area you could focus on innovation. This isn't enough anymore. This is table stakes. If you haven't done this, you're behind already. So what came next? What came next is having to win and own that customer. This quote is alarming. Why? You guys all criticize me for how much I charge you for guests to come to your hotel. I think you're looking at it wrong. Look at us as the cheapest source of referrals. If they come through me, you pay me once, and if they come back to me again and again, shame on you. Said to a bunch of hotel operators. He's now the CEO of Uber. It's the same playbook. We have to be alarmed by that. What did the travel industry do? They built the largest loyalty programs in the entire world. This was not always the case. When you used to book through Expedia and you came to this hotel, you'd get the same room as everyone else. You book through Expedia now, you do not get loyalty points. You do not get a good room. You are looking at the parking lot. Some of us are anyways. You are looking at the parking lot. You have no chance for upgrade. That is the reality of differentiating with your loyalty program. You book direct, you get points, you get free upgrades, you get great experiences. That's why these programs took off. We have a battleground in this industry that requires the same thing. It's the same food. It's the same experience for your customer. It's the same price. So we now have a battle to win the loyalty of the customer. And by the way, DoorDash is doing a damn good job of building their own loyalty program. It's terrifying. So how do you win in a world where they're doing the exact same things? DashPass is their loyalty program. They discount the hell out of deliveries. And suddenly they make it cheaper, despite the fact that you've taken 20, 30% on your menu. There's no surprise loyalty's back in fashion industry-wide for this exact reason. But the thing that people are talking about that they're a little worried about, we're going to get to. Many brands had no data going into the digital era. They're rapidly trying to catch up. McDonald's is at 30 million people in their loyalty program pretty much overnight. It's pretty fast. Some are doing well. Some of these have been pushing their loyalty program for years, well in advance of COVID. But Chipotle, pretty new. McDonald's, pretty new. So it can be done. You can reach scale very, very quickly. And the reason it matters is because of what we call the digital flywheel. You need to acquire a known guest. They cannot be anonymous to you, because if they're anonymous to you, they're likely going to DoorDash. You need to measure, is your marketing driving incremental revenue? Opens and clicks do not equal incremental revenue. We have to stop patting ourselves on the back for the fact that people looked at our emails. It doesn't drive revenue. And then we have to personalize and keep this cycle going. What drove revenue? Then how do I target those people with more personalized marketing? And can I drive more revenue? It's all about lifetime value. And the reason it matters, this is our data showing generic send to all campaigns and personalized campaigns. The revenue impact of driving personalized messaging is 6 times greater. Most brands are not doing it. I know, because I'm on all your email lists. The reality is you are sending me the same thing that you are sending someone that acts very different from me. It's not helping drive us back in. So we got to invest in a loyalty program, and then someone out here is groaning, oh, but that's yet another impact on my margin. Labor's never been higher, food's never been higher, real estate is totally messed up right now. The list goes on and on. And now you're telling me I need a loyalty program, which means another pressure on my margins, more discounts. Well, that's the mistake. It doesn't mean more discounts, but we have associated it that way. And in fact, one of the craziest things is the number of times that I talk to brands who tell me we don't discount, and then they launch their program and they just send out a lot of discounts. Everyone aspires to be a non-discount brand, but no one knows how to do it. We're going to talk about that today, because margins are under more pressure than this industry has ever seen. To unpack loyalty, we have to go back and understand the history of loyalty, because that association of the word loyalty with the word discount was true at a time. In phase 1, what I call loyalty 1.0, we were running basic rote rewards programs as an industry. You either had a loyalty program and you were slinging discounts left and right, or you had no program and you were saying, well, we just don't do that. And there weren't really many options. We're just going to send as many emails as we can, because we know that when we send out the BOGO, we drive traffic, we feel good about that. We don't know if we're driving lifetime value. We don't know if that person comes back and pays full price ever or is just waiting for the next discount, but at least we got that spike of traffic when we ran that campaign. This is where that connection between loyalty and discounts emerged. We got better over time. We started sending different messages to different people. They were still largely discount oriented, but at least we were personalizing. The family acts very different from the individual who goes in for lunch during business hours. The weekend brunch customer is very different from the dinner customer. Not to mention food preferences, which doesn't matter what people tell you in a survey. They tell you when they order what they want, and you can use that to target the message to those people. So we got better. This is where most of the industry who has had a loyalty program for a while, this is where we are. The future of loyalty is entirely personalized. It is one-to-one. It is treating consumers as the individuals that they are, establishing a relationship with them, and measuring, am I driving lifetime value? There's only a couple ways you can increase lifetime value. Greater frequency, greater check, or do I reduce the churn of that customer over time? That's it. So we have to ask ourselves with our marketing and with our loyalty program, am I driving frequency? Can I prove it? Am I driving check? Can I prove it? Have I reduced breakage? And can I prove it? And the harsh reality for all of you who are sitting here wondering about your loyalty programs is if you cannot prove it, I know the answer for you. You don't want to hear it. It's not working. So what does the future of personalized loyalty look like? Let's talk first about some of the success stories. I've mentioned Chipotle. Their stats are pretty impressive. They've driven to almost 50% of revenue coming through digital channels. That's happened in the last couple of years. They're doing $1 billion in digital sales. And they're doing some interesting things. Guac mode. You've all heard of it. It's kind of a silly concept. You don't even get the guac every time you go in. It's not even clear when you get guac, honestly. But you've all heard of it. And it's not a discount. It's an opportunity to feel special. Feeling special is a just natural human psychological state. We want to feel special. We want to be a part of things. And this is working. It's working when you actually help customers feel like they are in the in crowd and everyone else is in the out crowd. This is why you all have an airline preference, because you think you're going to get upgraded. You probably aren't, right? That's why. You spend extra money to fly your preferred airline on the possibility that you'll get upgraded. You check that list regularly to figure it out. I know it. I know all of you. And it doesn't actually happen, but we want to feel special. Customer of ours, Velvet Taco, did something really smart. They have a thing that makes them really unique, the weekly taco feature. It's a nightmare from an operations standpoint. They do an LTO every week. It's probably more than any brand in the country. Now they're making historical and future weekly taco features available only to their VIPs. So you've now broadened a once a week thing to an exclusive menu for the highest spending customers. Guess what? Those people spend more money. 13% reached the next tier of their loyalty program because they wanted access to that exclusive item. That's a big jump. They saw 6% check growth. In 6 months, they've reached more than 30% of their customers are now known to them and in their database. To put this in context, they are growing on a per store basis, their loyalty program, 10 times faster than Chipotle. They offer 0 discounts as a part of their loyalty program. None. It can be done. Now, most brands do not want us to talk about these things that they're doing because they're actually pushing the envelope. And so many of our customers are doing a lot of innovation in this space. We've combined it all together in this hypothetical brand. Super Greens, fast casual brand, health conscious, has a lunch, has a dinner, and has a brunch day part. What should Super Greens do? Well, first of all, they better get their digital right. You need online ordering with big, bold images, simple one-click reordering. There's basic user experience. DoorDash has 50 designers on staff. How many designers do we all have on staff? So you need to have the right partners that can iterate on this. But there's other things that brands can do that we're not thinking about. We rolled out tableside ordering with some brands recently. It's pretty phenomenal. It's a fast casual environment. Skip the line. Go straight to the table, sit down, scan a code, order. While you're waiting, order another drink. Checks are much higher through this. And now you're actually getting labor efficiencies at the same time. But let's talk about loyalty. We've talked about the secret menu. People wanting to belong. So what can you do? You can show them the secret menu, but it's locked. What do I need to do to get there? How can I accomplish that? How can I unlock that thing? One of the most amazing design tricks ever created is a lock icon. It makes you feel secure, and it makes you want to figure out how to unlock it. It's amazing. So open up new possibilities to that consumer, but tell them what they need to do to get there. Spend X this month, buy 3 different categories of items, bring a friend. The list goes on and on of ways that you can make them feel special, but you can get them to do the thing you want them to do, which ultimately is maximize lifetime value. And it's not just secret menus. Events, access to exclusive events. We have a customer that used to do a focus group every quarter to try out their seasonal menu. They paid money to get input on their seasonal menu. What did they do? They took that entire thing, they offered it exclusively to VIPs. Now they turned a cost center into a revenue driver, and they're getting feedback from VIP customers who know a lot more about the menu than the random people that are in focus groups. Swag store. If your brand is big, your customers want to wear it. So let them. Don't give them a discount. Give them once a quarter access to an exclusive limited edition piece of swag. You will be surprised the people that would fight for your gold shoes or your purple hat or whatever fits your brand. And if you can make it more limited, you are playing into an apparel culture that already exists in this industry. You're just not taking advantage of it. Skip the line. Some brands have certain day parts that are swamped. The opportunity there is give people the chance to walk straight to the front and jump in. You see it at the airport all the time, right? We can do the same thing. We can take advantage of it. But part of the challenge is that we are nervous to make one customer feel better than the other customer. This is an element of our industry. We have to break that. That's a good thing. And so, at the end of the day, design an experience that makes it easy for consumers to opt in to these forms of non-discount based loyalty, to know exactly what they're earning and what they need to do next. And start treating them as individuals. We call this a concept called challenges. But ultimately, your loyalty program does not have to be the same program for every person. An engaged customer can get different challenges with different things that they need to do to unlock rewards than a disengaged customer. Now, all of this requires taking advantage of the data. And one of the most alarming things to me when I entered this industry, now almost a decade ago, is that even the biggest teams have very limited marketing resources. And then those marketing resources turn over fairly regularly. It's a tough market out there. You got to make it super easy with very simple tools to unlock data-driven A/B segmentation, testing, and revenue-generating marketing. That is core to what we do at Thanx. We are best in class at making marketing easy and activating data. And that is ultimately, in our opinion, what will bring this industry to the level of sophistication that we've seen in e-commerce in their use and capturing of data. And so, I wrap with this. Supergreens, our hypothetical brand, is in a battle with DoorDash. I know we all want to say DoorDash is our partner. Supergreens is in a battle with DoorDash. Let me be very clear. Supergreens has discounts, so they're winning. This is great. We've got a loyalty program. Wait, DoorDash has discounts too. DoorDash also has variety that Supergreens could never offer. DoorDash also has a loyalty program that discounts the delivery. And then they charge you, when you use Drive, a lot extra for that delivery. Suddenly, DoorDash is actually winning. But Supergreens can fight back. Supergreens can fight back with exclusive menu items that you cannot get on DoorDash. Supergreens can fight back with VIP points and experiences and loyalty points that you can get. Remember, we are putting the DoorDash customer in the parking lot room. We are putting the direct customer in the VIP room. Swag, so that they're wearing your brand and they're thinking about you, because what will that do? They'll come direct to your channel instead of the third-party channel. And ultimately, you have the opportunity to shift the balance of power back to direct to the restaurant. This is how we protect our margins. This is how we ultimately drive lifetime value. This is how we win in a third-party enabled world, because they're not going away. And it's not just as simple as take 30% on your menu prices and cross your fingers and hope. They are innovating, and we have to as well. So the future of loyalty is very bright. It is a must-have at this point in this industry, but we need to stop thinking about it as a discount-only program and start thinking about it as driving lifetime value. I appreciate you joining me on the journey.
Thank you very much, Zach.